What's up, everyone? This is Bats3177 here, and today I have a very special video because I've been asked by so many people so many times, yo, what's up with Rondo's signature shoe series? You know, because when we talk about Anta, which let's be honest, not a lot of times, not many people talk about Anta, but for the ones who do, they usually talk about the Klay Thompsons, the KT3, KT4, KT5, whatever, and then more recently the Gordon Haywards. But nobody really talks about the Rondos, which is why I've had a number of people, you know, zero to be exact, asking me, yo, what's up with Rondo's Anta signature shoe series? Because when we think about it, Rondo is already 6 shoes into his signature shoe series. He has 6 shoes. 4 of them came out along with some like team shoes, whatever. So like for someone that's already so many shoes into his signature shoe series, we don't really talk about it. So that's why I'm here to answer like all of you guys, all 0 of you, your question, you know, what are like Rondo's Anta signature shoes. So without further ado, let's get right on into it and answer all of your questions. All right, I'll be honest. Nobody actually asked me about this. Nobody actually cares. I'm just doing this because I'm bored. But yeah, so for the people who don't know, Rondo signed with Anta in 2013. So before that, he was with Nike. He was wearing like the Hyperfuse, Hyperposits. I've seen him wear Foamposits and some Kobe's here and there. But he tore his ACL, and then between his ACL injury and the time he came back from the ACL injury, he signed with Anta, and they released a signature shoe for him, and this was the shoe. So these are Rajon Rondo's first signature shoe with Anta. So these are the Anta RR1, and personally, I really like the design. It looks kind of cool, but the materials are terrible, which well, it's expected because Anta is kind of known to be a brand, that sells like budget shoes, cheap shoes, so they use really cheap materials and make it really cheap, and they also charge really cheap, so it's not like they're making crappy shoes and sell them for like $200. These are like really cheap, like you could get them for like, I believe like 60-80 bucks or something like that. So you get what you pay for. But yeah, so his first signature shoe came out in 2013. He debuted those shoes when he came back from the ACL injury. It came out in 2 colorways. This white home colorway, and there was a black away colorway, which I regretted not getting, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, so for his first shoe, this was his logo. They used a silhouette of his famous ball fake. You guys know Rondo's ball fake, behind the back ball fake. So they used that as his logo, which looks kind of weird. I don't really like it personally, but that was what they used for his first logo. And then he has Rajon over here and Rondo on the other pair. It's a nice shoe. Number 9. This is the Anta logo. I like the logo. And then they have this like cushioning here that feels like jelly. But then I found out later on that this is only like a small part. Like from here, it looks like, oh, it's probably like the whole front, like the whole forefoot. But it wasn't. This little jelly thing is actually just like only this part. So basically, it's a lie. It's fake. But it doesn't matter. It still felt really comfortable. I like the shoe. Again, the materials are cheap. It's crap, but you get what you pay for. Traction was just herringbone. Nothing special, nothing crazy. It wasn't too great, but it wasn't bad either. But it was fine. So this was Rajon Rondo's first signature shoe. So at the time, Anta, made shoes really weird, like the sizing. Like this was an 8.5. I'm actually a US size 11 for like my Nikes and whatever, 10.5 to 11. So for some reason, they made this shoe an 8.5. Like the biggest size was like a 9 or 9.5 or something like that. but they don't fit anything like USA size. Like they're a lot bigger. Like when it says 8.5, it actually fits bigger than 8.5, like a lot bigger. So, the Anti had like really weird sizing, and for some reason their biggest size was like 9.5. But yeah, so after that, they came out with another version of the RR ones. These are they're called the RR ones. I don't know if I mentioned it, but that's his first ninja shooter RR ones. So they came out with a new version. Aesthetically, it looks pretty much the same. The upper is pretty much the same, but this time the materials, they feel a little bit better. Like I don't know if it's actually better, but it does feel a lot. Well, not a lot, but a little bit better. But they made some changes to the shoe. They made some minor changes and some major changes. So for the minor changes, they finally changed that weird looking ball fake logo and finally put like an actual logo for Rondo, an RR logo, which is really cool right there. You can see the big R and the smaller R inside. I like this logo a lot better. So yeah. And then now over here, they added another RR logo. Now over here, instead of Rondo, it has this like metal piece right here with Rondo's RR logo inside. But now the biggest change, everything's the same, like the minor details here and there. But the major change I was talking about is they changed the entire outsole. The entire outsole, entire traction is different. Like look at this. They changed the whole outsole. Like, it's not like a playoff version or whatever. Like they literally just came out. It's the same name they're calling the RR ones. It's not the RR1 SE or R1 playoffs. No, they're just calling it the R1. It looks exactly the same, but somehow it came in a different outsole. It's still herringbone. I don't know what's the cushion that they're using. They're calling this thing the side backer. I have no idea what that means. But it's comfortable. I played in it. It's comfortable, a lot more comfortable, and the quality, like I said, is a little bit better now. Sizing is still kind of weird. This is a 9.5, and it fits like a 10.5. I could put my feet in there. I could play in it. I'm usually a size 11 or 10.5, so it fits me perfect. So after that, Rondo's second year off his ACL injury, that was also the season he got traded from Boston to Dallas. He was wearing the RR2s. For some reason, those never came out. Or even if they did, it's probably like very limited because I never got them. I never saw him like in the stores that I usually get my Rondos from. So that's kind of weird. So we skip that and go on to his Sacramento Kings year when the RR3s came out. And these are the RR3s. I don't like this color at all. I don't know why I got this color. They had nicer colors. They had like a Kentucky blue color, kind of like this one. I should have gotten those. I did get a white Kentucky color, a white and blue one, but those got stolen. I don't know why the hell people want to steal a pair of Anta Rondos, but they did. So I'm left with this Christmas-looking mint color. Not my favorite color. It looks kind of whack, but still a pair of Anta Rondo 3s for the collection. So this time, they're introducing this new outsole system, whatever technology they're calling the Control 5WD, which you can see like the pattern looks kind of like your feet, your like the skeleton of your feet, like 5 toes right there. I don't really know what are the performance benefits. It just feels like any normal shoe. The traction wasn't that good anyway, so I don't understand what was the hype over this Control 5WD traction. But here they are. But the shoes are comfortable. I played in them again. Traction wasn't good. Shoes are comfortable. Rondo's RR logo. Rondo's signature right there. But I believe he wore mostly a low-cut version as opposed to this like higher version. But it's pretty much the same, just lower. But yeah, so during that same season, Rondo also wore another pair of shoes. Hold up, let me grab them. So Anta released another shoe for him. that season with the Sacramento Kings, which he wore not as often as the R3s, but they came out with this. Now this is beautiful. Now this is what they're calling the AntiSpeed series. You know, I guess it's like Rondo's like team shoe or whatever. But it's really nice. And at this point, Anta had already started making size like more accurate to American size. Like I forgot to mention this, like from the R3, like it actually fits like American size now. This is a 10.5. US, it says US 10.5. Now it actually fits like a US 10.5, as opposed to this. They say it's a US 9.5, but it's like the same size as this 10.5 right here. So now Anta has started going more towards the American market, so that's why, you know, now the sizes are more accurate to the American sizes. US 10.5 really fits like a US 10.5 now. So this one is, you know, probably like, in my opinion, like the best Rondo shoe that came out at the time. So now obviously, you know, it's not gonna be crazy great materials or whatever. Again, it's a budget shoe, it's Anta. They're gonna make it cheap with cheap materials, and it's no exception here. But this one, it came in a woven upper. This time they're using a woven upper, and I say it's a really nice and well done shoe, you know, for its price. You know, supposedly a budget shoe. You know, like I said, it's not Nike Flyknit or whatever. You know, it's still a cheap budget shoe, but really well done for its price. And this one is really comfortable. I liked it. They're still using the Control 5WD system here, but it looks a lot different from the one on the RR3. But they're still calling this the Control, there you go, the Control 5WD. But this one's a lot better just because it has more like ridges inside or whatever. But the traction was good. This one was comfortable. It's light, low to the ground. So this was like my favorite shoe. So it's looking like, you know, Rondo's shoes are getting better. Anta is getting better. You know, they're moving in the right direction. So here comes the Rondo, the RR4s. You know, now he's in the second. He left the Sacramento Kings and he joined the Chicago Bulls. So we're like, you know, his shoes are getting better and better, right? And here comes the RR4s, and boy, these are terrible. Like, firstly, these look like runners. I like the color. You know, my favorite color is blue. You guys can see I get a lot of blue shoes. Color wise, I like it. As a trainer, if you're telling me this is a trainer, it looks great. But as a basketball shoe, it just looks kind of like, you know, not really that nice. But this is terrible. Like the quality is back to being trash. They're still using that 5WD thingy. This time it looks a lot different again, but they're still calling it the Control 5WD. But these are just terrible. So it went back down the drain. And then you watch Rondo's games in the Bulls and you look at his feet, which I believe nobody actually cares. But if you do look at his feet, you could see he's wearing these shoes, but not quite the same. So what I have here is actually a pair of Rondo's game-worn shoes from his Chicago days. These are the RR4s that Rondo wears, you know, in Chicago. Like, it's his actual Rondo 4s. Now, obviously, we know the players get better than what, you know, we buy from the store. Like, you know, whether it's Nike, Jordan, Adidas, whatever, you know, usually the players get something a little bit better, stronger, you know, for their movements and whatever. But now this is, when I say better, it's a lot better. Like, I've seen Nike shoes for the players, like, it's better, but it's not that much crazy better. You know, they would change their insoles or whatever, but, you know, like the Nike, let's say the Hyper Dunks that you get from the store and the ones that the players get, you know, it's not that much better. But these ones, like heaven and hell. Like, this is just, the one I bought from the store is terrible, but these ones, man, I'm telling you, the quality is great. Like, it's like top, like, I'm not even joking, it's top brand, great quality. You know, it's like, man, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, obviously the insole, like, this is Rondo's personal care. Like, the insole is so thick and comfortable, but the ones in like the retail pair is just terrible, and it's like, you could do without the insole. And then like you could see the back right here, and they added like an extra like plate right here, no support plate right here for Rondo to support his movements. Like, why wouldn't I want that? Like, I play basketball. Sure, I'm not as strong or fast as Rondo, but I would still make basketball moves. And this little plate right here is definitely useful. Like, I want that, but Rondo gets it. Like, I understand if you guys give him better materials. Like, well, maybe over here it's harder. Like carbon fiber plate inside, whatever. A lot of Nike shoes are like that. Better insoles for those who don't use like their own insoles, but most players do. But it's like, this is a totally different shoe. Like, it looks the same, but I'm telling you, it's totally different. Like, even here, like the ones that Rondo wear, like these are actual like ventilation pods. Like you could see my finger from here. Like, it's actually like good for ventilation. But over in the retail pair, it's just stitched there for decoration. Like, it does nothing. It's just decoration. Like, why? Like, you're basically wasting like thread stitching this little shape right here that we don't actually need. Like, it's non-functioning. It's just there for the sake of being there. Like, that was just so disappointing. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I understand the players getting better quality, but this is just terrible. Like, this is terrible. So now after that, he got waived by the Bulls. So he signed a 1-year deal with the New Orleans Pelicans, and he came out. Anta came out with a new shoe for him. This is called the RR5. After the RR4's disappointment, I wasn't expecting much, but then they came out with these RR5s. Now these are beautiful, like really beautiful. I love it. And the best part is, these are fantastic. Back in the right track. These are the hands down the best Rondo shoes ever of all time. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm telling you, these are better than some of the shoes that Nike had, Jordan had out there, Adidas had out there, like at the time. Like, I believe it was like the Kyrie 3s period, Kyrie 3 and all those. I'm telling you, I have a lot of shoes, and I played in a lot of shoes during that time, and I keep going back to these at the time because these are that good. Like, these are the first Anta shoes where I'm like, these are fantastic. These are on par with like the Nikes and the Jordans. In fact, it's better. And I'm actually wearing it like most of my games. Like, I had Nikes, Kyries, Jordans in my bag, but I keep going back to these. Like, again, obviously it's a budget shoe. It's cheap. You can get it for a cheap price. I think it costs like less than 100. Materials are not gonna be that crazy great, but they went back to the woven material, woven upper. But now this is a no nonsense shoe, no gimmick, no crazy stuff. Like, they're just using cheap materials, but they use cheap materials and they built the shoe in the right way. They're using whatever little cheap materials that they have to build the best shoe they possibly can, and they actually did it better than some of the other brands with better materials, charging at a higher price. Like, I'm not even boasting, but this is a masterpiece. So it's great. Traction, no problems, no slipping or whatever. I was stuck on the ground, whatever. It was fantastic. I was like, thank you, finally a good Anta Rondo shoe. So these were cheap shoes with cheap materials done right. They did great. And Rondo had a good season in New Orleans. He led the team to the playoffs. Got past. They swept the Blazers in an upset in round one. Yada yada. So after that, obviously, we all know he left the Pelicans and signed the Lakers. And for the first time, for as long as I can remember, in modern day era, the first time a player with a signature shoe wears the same shoe for 2 seasons. Usually, every year, Kyrie 1, next year Kyrie 2, next year Kyrie 3. Same thing here, Rondo 1, the R1s, next year R2, R3, R4, R5. But I don't know the reason, like maybe Anta just, maybe Rondo's popularity isn't that great anymore, so they're not really focused that much. Or maybe these shoes were just so great or whatever. But he wore these shoes for 2 seasons. So the season with the Pelicans, he wore these R5s. And then his first season with the Lakers, which was last season, he wore the R5s. Like the R6 didn't come out. Like he was wearing the R5 all season last year. So that's the first time he wore like, or anybody wears the same signature shoes for like 2 seasons, like 2 years. So yeah, when I say two seasons, I don't mean like Nikes, like how Kyrie wears like his shoes at the start of the season and then changes to the next shoe, and then the next season he wears the previous model for another like few months of the season and then changes to the next one. But I mean like 2 full seasons. Like Rondo wore these for 2 full seasons. So this year, obviously we see a new shoe on Rondo's feet. Right now, if you Google Rondo 2020, this season, you could see pictures. He's wearing a new signature shoe. Those are confirmed to be the R6, and those are coming out next month. And I'll be getting them, and I'll be making a video of them. But until now, this is Rajon Rondo's signature shoe series. So once again, thank you guys, all 0 of you for watching. Stay safe and have a great one.